Five Nights at Freddy's is an indie game created by Scott Cawthon back in 2014, which exploded into a huge franchise composed of not just the main games, but toys, books, spin-off games, and now movies. And I love it! Hi! If you've... why did I sound like that? Hi! If you've never seen any of my content before, then hi, I'm Kia Kisakia. And I like to draw people and draw original drawing designs. Why did I write it like that? And if you have seen my content before, then you realize that this is actually my first ever voiceover video in 7 years. So sorry if I'm out of touch. But anyways, back to the topic at hand. I love Five Nights at Freddy's. And for being a fan since the game literally came out, I've seen my fair share of FNAF human designs, and I thought, why not do my own spin on a human FNAF gang? I've done multiple attempts throughout the years of my art journey, and the clips and sketches that I'll be showing in the background maybe did span the past 2 years, I think, 2.5, I don't know. But I will talk to you guys about my process in making my own designs for these 4 iconic characters. And yes, I'm only gonna stick with the 4 in this video, I'm sorry. And just a fair warning, this is mostly an exercise on my own character creation skills. Obviously everyone will have their own taste on which FNAF designs they like over others. And I'm honestly not saying that like my designs are like the best FNAF human designs, and frankly I could improve them in the future. But I'm just doing this for funsies, so yeah. Also, feel free to share your own FNAF designs or your favorite FNAF human designs in the comments. I love looking at other people's interpretation of the characters. By the way, before we actually begin, I established 2 rules for myself regarding these fan designs. First, I want to try to make these characters completely human. Again, there's nothing wrong with androids or human-like animatronics. I've seen many human designs that are more animatronic-like, and they look great, they look amazing. But I want to purposefully challenge myself by limiting the scope of these designs to just be plainly human. And 2, don't overly depend on the animal features. Again, nothing wrong with the animal ears and tails on human designs. I just want to exercise my creative skills and reference their base animal without just giving them animal ears and tails. Maybe as a bonus, I can just plop a cute animal ear headband on them and after I finish the design, but I don't want to overly depend on them. So other than those 2 rules, I'm free to do whatever I want. So let's actually begin. So let's start with the first animatronic you encounter, Mr. Bonnie the Bunny, who frankly gave us nothing design-wise. I love him. He is like my 3rd favorite animatronic ever, but in terms of adapting his design into a human one, I could literally make a Freddy Fazbear design, color it blue, indigo, purple, whatever, give it some red and slap a guitar on him and say, "He's Bonnie!" and everyone will believe me. And I know people will be like that Bonnie has like different vibes than Freddy or something, which he does, but let's be real, a lot of his base model in the first game is kind of adapted from Freddy, so it's kind of it's not a lot of, you know, he's not serving that much uniqueness, unless you consider that, you know, like his face shape is different and like he has a guitar and his colors are on it. Well, back on track, because he really doesn't have a lot going for him, I am free to do whatever I want, basically. So there are some things I wanted to add to my own Bonnie design. So first things first, I made him Asian. Mostly because I'm Asian and also because I wanted to. I gave him buck teeth and really short eyebrows to mimic the fact that Bonnie's got no brows. I also wanted him to have black roots in his hair so you can clearly tell that he dyed his hair, so yeah. His clothes though were really the problem I had. Originally I just gave him the usual blurple diner fit that I've seen in a lot of Bonnie designs. Again, there isn't anything wrong with these designs in general, but personally I couldn't enjoy drawing him like a lot with a design like that, so I pivoted. And it might not be the most original Bonnie design ever, because I've seen a lot of people do this that isn't just making him in a diner fit, but I turned him like emo Okay, but not emo technically. It's more punk, but it's more punkier than what you expect from a Bonnie design. But it fits. It kind of fits. He has the most aggressive animatronic in the early games, so him having the more hardcore badass design works. Again, he's kind of a blank slate appearance-wise, so hopefully this still looks like him. I still gave him the red bow tie. Maybe Freddy gave it him, so it's clear that he's a performer for the pizzeria. And also maybe Freddy just wanted to, like, you know, match with his best friend or something. I also gave him like 2 pigtails in the back of his head, so you can see more bunny other than his nose and buck teeth. My personal favorite part of his design, definitely his shoes. I cooked giving him shoes that mimic like a toe pattern to mimic the bunny feet, bunny beans. Oh yeah, I really love it. Maybe he has like toe beans underneath the sole, but I don't remember if bunnies have... Do bunnies have beans? Okay, I don't know, I can't remember, sorry. Maybe I'm being a little stupid right now. Anyways, here's my Bunny the Bunny. In my AU, he's the usually stoic but devout main composer of the Fazbear Band. Outside of working music, he's a little quiet, but on his guitar, he's super passionate. And he's Freddy's childhood friend, and Freddy convinced him to join the band so that the pizzeria can draw more customers. Bonnie only agreed if Freddy would be their lead singer, much to the bear's reluctance. Also, he kind of looks like a butch lesbian, but he's a man. He just likes eyeliner and dark lipstick. It makes him feel cool.
Pizza?
So Chica is literally the main reason why this video exists. I love designing girls, so she was considerably easier to design than the rest of the cast. But I love her so much. She's literally my second favorite. Because I loved her design so much that as soon as I moved on after I finished her, I kinda got burnt out and left this project collecting dust for a bit before coming back, so the first part of her time-lapse rendering style is kinda outdated, but you'll see me change up a few things later on. So I gave her cute short blonde hair, of course, and mini bangs. I just thought it looked cute. I also did make her chubbier than the other characters, though it's not that obvious with the dress shape she has, but I have this cute Chica sticker that I got from an Artist Alley booth like a while back, and they drew Chica like so cute and fat that I fell in love. I had to make her chubby. So anyways, like most Chica designs, the bib turned into an apron, and I also gave the edges of her apron straps like this frilly design, like to make feathers. And puffy sleeves and a puffy layered skirt was something I also wanted to give her so that she can have a rounder silhouette. The bandana on her head and her striped tights was also supposed to mimic her orange beak and chicken legs. And the pattern that I added on her skirt and bandana were mostly there just to add some sort of like Southern Belle or homey texture. I just wanted Chica to feel homey. Now, for the pink details, such as her oven mitts, her ribbon, and her roller skates, they were mostly there for liberties. I did base the roller skates off of her prototype design from Secret of the Mimic, which I love. But I thought the ribbon would be cute, so she could, like, match with Freddy and Bonnie. Okay, so turns out I already read most of my script and the video isn't done yet. But I still want you guys to see what my progress. So I will say that in post I did do a few edits. Mostly I just added little side hairs to frame her face more. But I think that's really all I did. This part's unscripted, but I really love Chica the chicken. Yeah. So here's the cherry Chica the chicken! I adore her so much. I like to think that Freddy hired her primarily to be in charge of the pastries and snacks in the pizzeria, but after hearing her sing for the first time, he realized that she'd be a perfect addition to the band. Bonnie was a little hesitant at first, since Chica had no formal vocal training, but Freddy convinced him to give Chica a few vocal lessons if he was so unsure about her place in the band. And he ends up warming up to her during this, so... So I may get some backlash for this, but I gave Foxy short hair. At first, I gave him short hair at first. It's not the sexy long-haired pirate baddie, but I have a reason for this, I promise. His design isn't as withered as the original Foxy since I didn't want to make these characters robots, but I added that rip on one of his sleeves to pay homage to that. Also, being the OG5 to have any resemblance of clothes, I brought back his brown pants, and I gave him a sash to mimic the gash on his chest, which I purposefully attempted to give him a bigger chest to show how more athletic he is compared to the rest of the gang. To be honest, he was almost the easiest character to design simply because he's a pirate, and pirates are fun to design and stuff. He has earrings, he has a corset, he got the flowy pirate shirt, he's basically the whole package. Also, in post, I did give him a ponytail. He doesn't have like short hair. It's still short though. It's like Kagami no Len length, but at least it's not like he's got something. Okay. Anyways, he was very easy to design, and if I had just worked on this design, then he would have probably been the fastest design of the main four. But I thought, why not give myself a harder time, you know, and do a second Foxy design. Specifically, Captain Foxy. I originally did this because I wanted to make another design depicting a quote-unquote fixed version of Foxy in canon, but since there technically is a fixed version of him already, and it's not really that different compared to his like withered version, I thought it would be better and more interesting if I just grabbed Captain Foxy, since we see him in the Sealable era of games, and I put him into this design. So this Foxy does have longer hair to show that he's more in character, in this more Foxy character, not Foxy, in this more pirate character. And that's why I originally planned to have the other design have shorter hair originally, to show the difference between Foxy back when he was playing this captain role versus the Foxy now who's playing in the pizzeria. So here's my Foxy. My idea was that he was a character actor, usually seen in like amusement parks or something like that, but he was eventually fired, maybe from either a workplace accident or the place shut down, and he couldn't get a job, so he got very disheartened once he realized he couldn't perform anymore. Then he found a gig at Freddy's as an actor to entertain children, and he loved it. He felt a spark return even if it wasn't the same as he used to be. So he acts kind of full of himself, like as if he's some famous actor who just took a break and acts like he accepted Freddy's offer out of pity, even though in reality he's highly grateful for Freddy for offering him this job in the first place. Anyways, I think he and Chica become best friends because they're both so energetic and lively, and he really, really wants to be friends with Bonnie too, but Bonnie thinks he's annoying. And finally, my guy, the man, the legend,
for the one,
and
the only, Freddy Fazbear.
I can't do the really cool intro that he usually gets. Anyways, so to be honest, I also had a hard time deciding what direction I wanted Freddy's design to go to. But sometimes he just gotta stick with the classic. You know, a button-up vest, a top hat, dress shirt, sleeves, cuffs, slacks, and the bow tie. I did originally try to just put him in a black tux, which you will see when you watch the time-lapse. And you can see how much I struggled, so yeah, that was not a good idea. It felt too formal for him, or at least for my version of Freddy. But I ended up getting a design I really liked, so you'll get there eventually. So for my version of Freddy, my idea was that he inherited the Fazbear business from an older relative, wink wink, and intends to make the restaurant something wonderful for children. I will admit, the story is very based on the storybook that's seen in Secret of the Mimic, so I won't take full credit for the idea. I mean, it's not the most original either, but it's a cute logline for a kid's show following these characters, so I'm gonna go with it. It's Freddy running up the gang and making Freddy Fazbear's Pizza something wonderful. He loves entertaining children, and seeing them happy makes him happy. He has a very soft spot for kids, so he needed to make sure everything's in perfect shape for this restaurant, even to his own detriment. I also headcanon that in this AU, that Freddy has some crazy stage fright. He can talk to kids one-on-one and or in small groups, but see in front of a full room of around 20 kids with their parents, he needs to take a sit down in the back room or something. Bonnie's been trying to push Freddy out of his shell for years because he knows how good of a performer Freddy is. It's really just the fear that gets to Freddy, and because of that, he has to take a few hours break between shows, or something like that. I just think it would be so interesting to see someone who is so good at performing and who really wants the best for these children to have something holding him back that really gets in the way of him making other people happy like how he wants to. I don't know, I think it'd make a really good character arc for him, especially since now he's got a new gaggle of new friends. And with all their eccentric personalities and different ways of how they work, it would be really interesting to see how it all goes down. By the way, in terms of Freddy's design, I really had a hard time deciding what his secondary color would be. Bonnie's was red, and Chica's was pink, and Foxy's was yellow. I didn't want to make Freddy too monochromatic and have too many shades of just brown and black. You saw me having a hard time working with the tux idea because of it. But I really had a hard time picking like what secondary color would work. Having it be blue or having it be red. And I kept DMing my friends about it multiple times about what color I should use. But a friend of mine suggested that I give him red slacks to like break up the color. And you know, it ends up it looks really nice. I really like it. And they did suggest it because it's something that they'd wear, and they said, well, and I quote, "It's because he is me and I am him." So I committed to using the red as a secondary color. The handkerchief tied under his vest is also something I want him to match with another character when we eventually get to him. Hopefully I will have the energy to reach him in another video. So here he is, Mr. Fazbear himself. I have nothing else that I need to add that I haven't already said, so just enjoy. So here are all of the final designs together. Being a fan of this franchise for so long to the point that it actually got me to making a YouTube video again in years, it's crazy. I did actually start locking in on these designs after the FNAF 2 movie came out, so I'm actually already working on the toy designs. And I love them so much so far. They're making me so giddy. Hopefully I can lock in hard enough to turn that into a video too. So my plan is to ideally design all of the animatronics as humans. Well, not all of them, just most of them, because I don't know what you want me to do with the wizards and the phantoms and the nightmares and all of the other weird ones that I have no idea how to work around. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you've already reached this far, then thank you so much for listening to all my silly rambles. I know that listening to me might not have been that easy since I haven't actually recorded a voiceover for a video like this in so long that I didn't notice that my mic was actually backwards for some of the parts of the video. I'm really sorry. And I'm learning how to do character designs again properly after so long, so wish me luck. Oh, and feel free to give me your thoughts and feedback on my designs if you'd like to. Love you all so much. Thank you. You've got this, and see you around.